Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Griffin Phillips. Today I will be your host in the supplemental video talking about how to gain extra financial support, learning accommodations, and accessible friendly destinations when choosing to study abroad at the University of Lethbridge. So let's start with a question that we get asked a lot at the International Office, and that is, can I apply for more student loans to help me for traveling expenses when studying abroad? And the answer to that is yes. Students that wish to apply for a loan for an exchange should be advised to contact the financial aid office prior to applying for their student loan for the upcoming semester studying abroad, provided they are full-time, which they will be if they're going on an exchange program anyways. They'll verify the dates of the exchange to make sure that they match in the government system to ensure that there will be no hiccups with securing funding. They can also assist the student with claiming airfare expenses. But it is to be noted that there are loan maximums, and although students may be eligible for some additional funds toward their airfare, government student loans will only contribute to these expenses and they might not completely cover all of them. However, students will often top up their student loans with a student line of credit through banks or financial institutions. So now that we know that it's possible to secure some extra funding to support the trip, we need to figure out how to apply for student aid and what it is. What is Alberta Student Aid? Alberta Student Aid is a government service that provides student loans, grants, scholarships, and awards to help you pay for your post-secondary education. It doesn't just help you do that, it also helps you pay for some things that are going to supplement your education. However, there are some eligibility requirements when it comes to Alberta Student Aid. The first one being is you must be an Alberta resident. If you're not an Alberta resident, you need to contact your own province's student aid page. The general eligibility requirements for Albertan residents, however, are to be maintaining academic progress as a student, have to demonstrate financial need, be a full-time resident, and be enrolled in a program approved by Student Aid, which is any program at the University of Lethbridge, as well as any exchange opportunity offered by the University of Lethbridge. So once you've deemed that you're eligible for the Alberta Student Aid, it's time to gather some information for your application. So first of all, some personal information, that being your address, phone number, email, and birthday. The next, you need to track down your social insurance number, same with your Alberta student number. Some financial information they're going to ask for is the total amount of income from your last year. The academic information you will be applying will be from the University of Lethbridge, the program you're in, the start, end dates, and your student ID number if you know it. Another thing to take note of for this part is going on exchange, there will be an extra form where you get to provide the additional name of the additional school you're going to, as well as your airfare costs. And finally, have an emergency contact information, whether that be parent, guardian, friend, somebody who you can contact in case of an emergency. Once you've gathered all of the information required for the application, the next step is to create a student aid account to complete the application process. So what you will do is you will visit studentaid.alberta.ca/apply/how-to-apply. Once you get there, there will be two options to verify your identity. The first option being through My Alberta Digital ID, where you'll be required to use your Alberta driver's license or an identification card. The second way to do it is by verifying it through using two of your Alberta high school diploma marks, your Alberta Student Aid Agreement number, or an Alberta or Canada Cash Loan Certificate number. So the last thing to look out for when you are applying for Alberta Student Aid loans and filling out the application forms is the fact that there are some special circumstances considering that you are traveling abroad. So students that are going on exchange must provide the name of your primary school and the name of the additional school, as well as your airfare costs, to be able to be reimbursed for them. So it's important to pay attention and make sure you fill out these forms. And if you're a student traveling with disabilities, you need to submit a Schedule 4 form to explain your disability and requested supports to ensure that you'll get all the necessary resources thrown your way. Scholarships. Scholarships are great because they provide extra money to help fund your trip, as well as they don't need to be paid back. As mentioned in the prior video about scholarships, the Bridge is a great place to start filling out a general application that will put you in the running for all of the scholarships offered at the University of Lethbridge that you may be applicable for. But another great spot to look at is this website for students with disabilities. If you have a disability, you can visit www.disabilityawards.ca, where there's a portal of financial awards for students with disabilities in Canada. You can search based on disability, based on province, based on the reason for funding, all of that. This is a great resource for students with a disability looking for supplemental scholarships. For further recommendations on scholarships for students with disabilities, there's the Alexander Graham Bell Scholarship, which is a scholarship for full-time students who are deaf or hard of hearing to study at a mainstream college or university. Another great scholarship is the Google Lime Scholarship. It is a scholarship for students who exemplify leadership and demonstrate a commitment of passion for computer science and technology, as well as strong academic performance, and have a visible or invisible disability. There are also some organizations that provide scholarships for Indigenous students, such as Inspire. Inspire is a national Indigenous charity that aims to improve the benefit of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people and their families and communities through investment in their education. Inspire provides a list of bursaries, scholarships, and awards exclusively available for Indigenous students completing post-secondary education, but it is important to note that there are deadlines when applying for certain things. Important days are August 1st, November 1st, and February 1st. However, some scholarships and awards have other deadlines to keep note of as well. Here's a further list of organizations that have awards, scholarships, and bursaries available for students who self-identify as First Nations, Métis, or Inuit. So the next batch of scholarships is for all students on the EduCanada website. So by visiting the EduCanada website, we'll show you here how to apply and search for certain countries offering different scholarships in different countries. So visit the website, click on My Scholarships, go over to Scholarships for Canadians. And then we look at international scholarship opportunities for researching or studying abroad. From there, we can go down and select a country from the drop-down menu. Here's a list of countries from all over the world, tons of one. This is a great place to come and do your research on scholarships of destinations, finding out which countries are offering bursaries and grants. You never know. There might be countries where you can go and study abroad completely free. For today, we will choose Malaysia. Once we pick Malaysia, we can search it. And once it's searched, it'll come up with a list of all of the potential scholarships offered by that country for students studying there, and the requirements needed, and all of the other requirements for those scholarships. Another scholarship for all students to look at is Academic Invest. This website is similar to EduCanada, but not part of the Canadian government, and it is a academic investment scholarship fund based on the field of study. So instead of choosing a destination like on the EduCanada website, a student would come in here and based on their field of study, research the potential grants and opportunities for someone studying in their field. Here's a list of some more scholarship portals recommended by the Financial Aid Office. Now let's talk more about our accessible friendly destinations and what they have to offer. Some things to consider, however, when looking for an accessible destination are what type of environments will I encounter in the host country? How will the courses be taught? What will the accommodations be like? What about transportation? Is it accessible? Is it public? Will I need an own car or will I need to organize something? What types of accommodations are available? These are all things to consider when studying abroad for accessible destinations, and you will find the more accessible ones will be easier to get around in, and they'll have the type of environments that you desire to put yourself in. Starting off the list of our recommended accessible friendly destinations for students with disabilities would be Australia. Australia mirrors that of Canada. They have legislation in place to ensure public amenities and facilities are accessible to people with any forms of disabilities. It's also one of the most friendly countries. There's no language barrier, so it'd be very easy to get around and find help if you need it. So for these reasons, we see it as very accessible. Another reason too is the partner universities offers learning accommodations. However, get in touch with the University of Lethbridge outgoing office beforehand about those learning accommodations to ensure that they are the right ones to suit you to get you on your way to studying abroad in Australia. One of our most accessible friendly destinations is Anadolu University of Turkey. This university provides a bunch of different options when it comes to exchange education, whether that be actually traveling abroad or doing a virtual experience. Within the renewal of our partnership contract with this university, they included within the partnership that they were striving to have one of the most accessible exchange destinations in the world. So if this is something that interests you, reach out, get in contact with the exchange office, and we'll help you get on your way to the Anadolu University of Turkey. Another great accessible destination that we offer is the Free University of Bozen in Bolzano, Italy. With this school, as well as the school in Turkey, in our renewal partnership agreement, they preach to offer accessible destination for all students traveling. Another thing to note about this school is that there are no architectural barriers in any of its 3 campuses. There's support before you start university, language and admissions tests. You can get compensation for learning experience, such as extra time on tests or extra tools depending on what you might need. You can also get support while you study. So this is a great option for students looking for a bit more support when it comes to the academic side of the exchange, but definitely a great option. If it's something that interests you, reach out to the international office. We'll get in touch with you and we'll help you get on your way. And lastly, on our list of things to talk about today is learning accommodations abroad. When it comes to learning accommodations and studying abroad, it is definitely possible to have a learning accommodation while studying abroad. The best bet to ensure this is to reach out and talk to the international office. Talk to our outgoing exchange coordinator about what your requirements would be studying abroad and the accommodations you might need. Through that, she'll be able to contact the host institution that you are interested in and figure out and set up all the accommodations you need. The best bet is to reach out to the office because each case is case specific. Not all cases are the same, so we want to make sure that each student is set up to succeed in the best scenario. That goes with everything. Any process of the application to going on abroad, just reach out to the international office and we will be more than happy to help you in any way possible that we can to ensure that you have an easy and enjoyable experience while studying abroad. If you're interested more in learning about exchange, more specifically the types of living accommodations, cost-friendly destinations, the eligibility requirements, and how to apply for scholarships, then please watch our other videos on uleth.ca/international.